Just like to remind our listeners, if you're interested in our training classes, you can find more information about them on our webpage at www.anticruelty.org, or you can call our switchboard number at 312-644-8338, and they'll direct you to the proper extension to learn more about our classes. So let's talk about the classes a little bit more. You mentioned socialization and wee ones and puppy preschool. What exactly does that include? Socialization with people or with other animals? Or?
Socialization with people, with animals, with sights and sounds and textures. We bring out walkers and wheelchairs. We wear funny hats. We blow noisemakers. We play CDs of thunderstorms and alarm clocks and things like that. Puppies are very, very open to new experiences until they're about 16 weeks of age. After that, that window really, really closes, and they're not going to be as open to new things, so it's really important before that time that they get exposure to all these different types of things. So we really try to not inundate them, but we really expose them to many, many things. And the caveat, too, is it has to be positive. If we play a bunch of CDs and clang pots and do all that and it scares them, then we've actually done the opposite of what we wanted to do. So we make sure everything is positive and the owners are having fun and are upbeat. And again, if we need to, we'll include some hot dog and things like that along with these new things so the dogs really like them.
Okay, and so with the CGC prep course, you mentioned that's good for dogs that are entering into therapy work. What kind of therapy work can CGC dogs do?
They can go do visitations to hospitals. That's a really popular one. Visitations to children's homes sometimes. Those are the most commonly used. Sometimes they are helped with like autistic children to help them learn how to communicate and be a little bit more social. Those are the primarily the ones that can be done with just a CGC certification. Others that are a little more detailed require extra certification, but the CGC is a very good first step in that process.
Excellent. Okay, in regards to the classes, who can take them? How much do they cost, and how do they go about getting registered?
Any person can take any of our classes. You don't have to adopt your dog from the shelter. So it's open to anybody in the public. Some of the classes do have restrictions on the dogs who can attend. Except for the Canine Charm School, dogs have to be friendly with other dogs in all the other classes. Dogs over 6 months of age have to be spayed or neutered for any of the classes. And then other classes have certain age requirements or skill requirements, like Pet Dog Training 201, since it's an intermediate level class, they have to have completed a basic training class already, whether with us or with somebody else. The classes vary. Wee ones cost $50. Puppy preschool is $100. If you sign up for both of them together as a package, you get a $30 discount, so it's $120.
Deal.
Yes, 101, Pet Dog Training 101, 201, $100 for dogs adopted from shelters. $125 for other dogs, so we do try to discount adopted and rescued animals as well. The CGC course is $50, as is the trick training class. Rally Obedience is $70 for adopted animals, and again $80 for others. Canine Charm School is $50 for dogs adopted from Anti-Cruelty Society and $200 for all other dogs. And anybody who completes one of our training classes gets a discount on any future classes that they take, whether they got the dog from a shelter or not.
Sounds like very reasonable prices for what we offer.
Yes, they are. They are.
Once again, you can find out more information about these classes, time availability and such on our webpage at anticruelty.org. So, and what about those folks out there who have a specific behavior concern about their dog or cat? What can we do to help them?
We do have a behavior hotline that's staffed at the shelter. We have 2 full-time staff who operate the behavior hotline and 2 staff who work on the hotline part-time. So we get back to the calls pretty quickly. We get a lot. We get about 200 or so calls a month. So it might take us 24, 36 hours or so to get back to you. But we definitely will. If you call, we will call you back. Absolutely. As long as we can understand your phone number, we'll get back to you. We'll answer any question. If we don't know the answer, and that's pretty rare, actually, if we don't know the answer, we'll refer you to somebody who can help you out. But we'll take anything as far as calls, as long as it's dog or cat related.
Okay. And this hotline's available to anyone?
The hotline's available to anybody, and it is free of charge.
Excellent. And once again, that number is 312-644-8338, and just tell the operator you want to speak to someone on the behavior hotline. They'll direct you to the proper extension. What are some of the more common behavior concerns that you get from owners?
Most of the calls are similar to the reasons that animals are surrendered to the shelter. With cats, the number one call every single month is eliminating out of the litter box. That is the most common problem with cats. Again, we get a lot of calls regarding aggression to other cats in the household or to people. We get a lot of calls, fortunately, from people who want to adopt a second cat and want to know what is going to be the best match, what they should look for, and then how to introduce them once they bring them home. So they're doing good, preemptive work, which is excellent, makes our job easier in the future. We also get a lot of calls regarding cats from people whose cats are very active at night and waking them up, which is natural cat behavior to be active overnight, but people don't want to deal with that. So we get a lot of calls on that too. With dogs, again, we get many calls primarily about house training issues, aggression to other animals, aggression to dogs. We also get, aggression to people and aggression to other animals. A lot of calls about separation anxiety as well, and excessive barking. There are many reasons dogs bark, and again, it's natural, but it's hard for people to control it sometimes.
Okay. Just to clarify for our viewers, you mentioned separation anxiety. I know a lot of people are a little confused on what exactly separation anxiety is. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that? True separation anxiety is when a dog panics so much when it's without its owners, without its leaders, that it completely just panics. Again, it doesn't know what to do. It has kind of a meltdown, for lack of a better term. The most common symptoms of that are, again, excessive barking, maybe howling. If they're not confined to a crate, then a lot of attempts to leave, so scratching and chewing at doors and windows. If they're crated, attempting to get out of the crate, and there are many dogs who will bend wires, chew through plastic, things like that to get out. Eliminating in the house as well, otherwise housebroken dogs have accidents. And just overall destructiveness to maybe chewing up the sofa, things like that. In some cases, they will injure themselves from chewing and over grooming and things like that. But it's more they injure themselves in an attempt to escape. Okay. There are some dogs who have more minor forms. We tend to call that separation distress, where they get anxious, they're a little worried, but again, it's not a complete panic attack. Okay. That's good to know. So what are some of the main mistakes that you think most owners make when trying to deal with behavior problems on their own? Probably not understanding really how dogs and cats think, how they learn, what's normal for them. We have people who will call and tell us, I told her it was bad and I don't understand why. She's like, well, they don't know English necessarily, and you can't reason with them. And there are many people who come home and find something has happened and they take the animal over and show it, and they say, well, I showed it, it's a mess, and then I yelled at it, and then the next time I came home, he ran off to the corner and had his ears down, so I know he knows it was wrong because he looks guilty. Animals don't learn and don't associate consequences much more than like 3 seconds past the behavior that's happened. So the animal doesn't look guilty, he's just anticipating the punishment that's about to come and trying to diffuse the situation. So he's not guilty. So really, as long as owners understand what's natural behavior for a dog or cat, and that they're not doing things out of spite or revenge, then they're going to get a lot farther in their training techniques, because they're going to have more respect for their animal and what's going on. Okay.